Okay, I hope you guys can hear me. I am yelling, so bear with me. Turn your volume up, listen up, okay? So here is our set of data. So we have been making dot plots, and when we've been making these dot plots, we've had numbers that have been really close together, right? Shoe sizes, siblings, the dice, right? All of those numbers were very close together. It made sense to make those nice number lines. If I look at this set of data, our scale, if we look, our lowest number is an 8 all the way up to is 50, up to 50. Now, I do not want to make a number line that goes from 8 all the way to 50. That's just wasting my time. So this set of data is too spread out to make a dot plot. You can, but I don't want to, okay? It's too spread out to make a nice dot plot with. So we are instead going to make some things called a frequency table and a histogram. So a frequency table is another visual display of data that uses tallies and intervals. So an interval is a group of numbers. So instead of saying 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, we're going to break it into groups, and we're going to say we have the numbers 10 through 19, 20 through 29. But here's the key. These intervals must be, is it going to type there? I feel like it's not going to type. There we go. These intervals have to be equal. So an example of this, so if I just said, right, I want to go from 10 to 19. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I need another finger, 19. So there's 10 numbers there. And then I would say 20 through 29. Look at this nice pattern. 0, 0, 9, 9. They start and end with the same type of number. This is a good example here. So go ahead and write that down, right? The next would be 30 to 39. That's a good interval. A bad example is, right, if I said I have the numbers 1 to 5, and then I'm going to do 6 to 20. Those are not equal intervals. 1 through 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 6 through 20 has 15 numbers. Those are not equal. They have to be in equal chunks in order for this data to make sense. So if we come back here to our set of data, our scale went from 8 to 50. Now 50 is a nice number, so we're going to keep 50. But I don't really love 8. I want to change it to a nice friendly number. And I can't go up to 10 because then I'm leaving out numbers. So I have to go down, right? Right? If I went up to 10 and only did 10 to 50, I would leave out 8 and 9. And there was those numbers in the data. So I'm going to go all the way down to 1 to 50. That's a nice even way to break it up, right? 1 to 9. Well, I would actually, we might want to go 0 to 9. We'll have to see. We'll have to mess with our intervals here and see what we want to do. Because like I said, right, it has to start and end with the same pattern here. So they all started with a 0. They're all ending with a 9. Those intervals have to be nice and equal here. So let's go ahead and make a frequency table here. So we know our lowest one is 8. So we're going to start with a 1, and we're going to go up to 10, 1 through 10. So every time I start, my number should end with a 1. And when I'm end, it should end with a 0. So after 10, we have 11, right? Ends with a 1, up to 20. So, right, 1 to 10, 11 to 20. So you see those nice patterns. So next we have 21 to 30. So see, I want you to see if you can finish that pattern here. So we would have 31 to 40 and 41 to 50. So those intervals, right? All of them end in 1s. All of them end in 0s. That's a great way to check, are your intervals equal? Do they have a pattern? So now we want to just go through and put them into the right group. So this 11 goes into this section here, and we're going to make tally marks. The 8 goes into the first section. 21 goes here. 15 in here. So go ahead and just finish this. So 28, 43 is at the bottom, 37 and 9, 12 is in the second one, 13 in the second one, 17's in that second one. And once I get to 5, I like to cross it so they're nice and easy to count. 31 goes here, 50's at the very end, and then 34 here. And then I can even just count them up. So, right, this one has 2 and 5, 2, 3, and whoops, I almost just put 4 because I was, oh no, now I deleted them all. 5 and 2 and 3 and 2. Right, as we're making these intervals, we go in order. So I'm not just putting them randomly. I did not list all the numbers. I didn't put 11, 8, 21. I don't have room for that, and I don't want to make a chart like that. I grouped them into equal chunks and then put them into the correct category using these tally marks. So with 1 tally for every number. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. When I add these up, there should be 14 of these. So here's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That means I included all of my data. So now we're going to make a histogram. So a histogram is another visual display, for large groups of data. So when you have really spread out data and really big numbers, this is when you probably want to use a histogram. It is very similar to a bar chart, a bar graph. You guys have probably made those before, right? The bar goes up this high and up this high, but we're using those intervals. So it displays for large groups of data using intervals. So we're using those same intervals we made on that frequency table to put onto our histogram here. So now different than the dot plot. So if you remember back on our dot plot, let me flip back a few pages, right? We put the mark and our data went right, the value went right underneath it. And then our value, our dots went up from there. Histograms now go in between. So because we're going to be making bars above them. So our first interval here, we said it was, right, 1 through 10. So I'm going to put my 1 through 10 here. And then I have 11 through 20 here. Now, if you need to write sideways, you can. And then I have 21 through 30 going in this section. Then I'm going to have 31 to 40 in this section, and 41 to 50 in this section. So right this time I'm giving it a section because I'm going to draw going up. Now histograms touch each other. There's no spaces in between them. It's all put right next to each other. So I need to come back and look at my frequency. My highest frequency was a 5. So I need to make sure I go up at least 5 places. So here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need to put some labels. If somebody looked at this, they would have no idea what this meant. So these are, I don't know if this actually, this was just data. So we are going to put that these are the frequencies on the side. I'm going to turn that there, right? This is how often it happened. And then these are what these are. So maybe these are like ages of people, let's say, right? So we asked a bunch of people how old you are. So ages, we'll say those are ages of people. So these are the ages. This is how often that age occurred among that group of people. So if I look back here, let me grab a double page here so I can see my table. So in the 1 to 10 category, they only asked 2 people. So that's going to go up to the 2, over, down. So there's that bar to represent 2. Then from 11 to 20, they found 5 people. So again, right, we go up to the 5 and down, everything touches. So, right, it's just saying, here is this bar for this bar for this. 21 to 30, again, we had 2 people, so those should be the same height. Then 3 people, so up 1. And then 2 people. Whoops, that was not 2 people. And then 2 people were 41 to 50. So now I can look, again, my most common one is my highest. So the most people we had was 5. Now, one thing I don't know is this one is a little harder to tell some of the information because we don't have those individual dots and things like that. Like, I don't know if there is somebody, I have no idea how old these people are because I grouped them all together. I don't know if all of these people are 11. I don't know if all these people are 20 or 15 or are they spread out because I don't have the individual dots. But when our data is so spread out, it just doesn't make sense to put them all on a dot. So when our data is spread out, right, we want to squish it back together so that we can visually be able to see it, but our intervals have to be in equal groups here.